9/17/2014, Dr. Keskis. 9/17/2014, Dr. Keskis.
Yeah. I got food to clean my teeth. Are you sure you're gonna be okay back there, Doc?
Oh, really? Talk to me back
I'm
off.
just asking.
Where's the cameras?
Right here.
Right
And the door's right here.
Here.
Oh, I'm sitting right there.
Man, I have been trying to talk to you. Dude, I have.
I know. They told me. That's why I came over.
Okay, why are you here to see me?
You said you filed some abuse charges on the staff.
I filed abuse charges.
Did you complain the staff was abusing you?
I never thought. Did I do that? I don't know what to do with that.
You said the staff was neglecting abuse.
There's a staff that told patients I was a snitch.
What?
I can't even tell you what's going on. Hold on. Do you know,
They said something like they wanted to see you because you want to file, you want to make a complaint of abuse and neglect on the staff has been abusing you and neglecting you.
check this out.
We've been doing well.
Kevin Hart, they call him the super chief. He's in charge of all the hospitals. He's coming to see me in a couple of days. I need to talk to you off the record right now. Okay,
I'm not writing nothing down.
I'm gonna tell you what's going on.
Okay.
I got Dr. Risley in so many fucking lies when they brought me over here. She claimed that I threatened a state senator. Look at this shit. Here's her note. Is there I for a second? Transferred to Unit 9 because of uncontrollable behavior on a lesser restricted unit. Mr. Gambord is reported to have made threats to senators and that they are afraid. Additionally, he made a threat to the dentist and the dentist's wife. I'm told she was very frightened by his statements. Then she put citing my as evidence of my mental disorder, given his phone calls to the FBI and government officials that have brought CSH to legislative attention, where they have complained to essentially control this guy. Long story short, it's all a fucking lie. Here's the IDN from Dr. Joseph. This is the day they Calhoun me for 14 days. He spoke with the FBI, Investigator Harriet, regarding alleged threats to the legislature. Investigator Harriet said there was no explicit threat, as far as he was aware, and that Mr. Gambord made, however, Mr. McClellan stated that the context of Mr. Gambord's past sexual history, and blah, blah, blah. So Mr. Gambord's phone calls represented possible, you didn't call that word possible, sorry. I've been totally clear of that. But he went into the Calhoun and said that I was stalking. Okay, also Dr. Risley wrote a note that I wrote that I did not receive any complaints about phone calls. I just found out today patient is deeply manic, symptoms including phone calls. Okay, there's another thing, and I'll just tell you off the top of my head. She stated that I went into the Calhoun hearing with pictures of dead babies, and showed them to the Calhoun panel to make them feel that if they Calhoun me, this is what was going to happen to them. It never happened. Dude, check this out. I've been secretly recording these motherfuckers for 6 months. I took a recorder in the Calhoun hearing. They don't know it. They kept cutting me off as I was trying. I got Whitney Paxton and Debbie Johnson cutting me off every time I tried to speak. Huh?
Do they record your phone calls?
No.
Can they record patient phone calls?
No.
What about people calling into here? Can they record?
No. On our phones, now your phones, like technically, like if I call you in your office, technically your employment contract states that your phone and internet access can be monitored. I've never heard of them doing it unless they were doing an investigation.
But like I said, the patient's phone. When patients 17 get phone calls in.
No. They would have to have a warrant. By law, all our calls.
They warrant before or afterwards?
Huh?
They had the warrant before or afterwards?
Before. Because, I mean...
Would they have to tell you that they're giving a warrant?
No, not necessarily. I mean, if they're going to secretly, you know, they can get a court order to secretly monitor the phone, but how would they know? They don't know who's on the phones.
They have to do voice recognition, wouldn't they?
I mean, they...
You know, they just investigated me.
They just did?
Finished it.
For what?
Saying that I was giving patients food and this and that and the other. That was back in the day. We give patients food and then they wanted to see. So they
what I'm trying to have you understand.
I'm not here to.
As far as, let me tell you, Chuck Rabeau. No, I mean, listen, man,
I was scared to answer those phone calls because I didn't know I was actually they tap those.
You mean when I called you in your office?
I mean, I don't want to get you in trouble.
I'm worried about you get in trouble. I'm not going to get in trouble. I'm not going to get in trouble.
Do they listen to our conversations here?
They can't get. I mean, if they knew you were here and they wanted to, I suppose they could. I don't know.
But if your attorney calls into here on one of these phone lines in this hospital, can they listen to that?
By law, our calls are confidential. They're not allowed to monitor our phones without a warrant.
What about people calling into these phones?
It's the same thing.
And the patient's calling out the same thing?
Yeah, because it's the patient.
I thought I was paranoid at first.
It's the patient. Well, you should be a little concerned, and I try not to call you unnecessarily. I just, you know, it's like how you always say you're going to come see me, and you never come see me.
Well, because Grizzly kind of put a block to that.
I said, dude, this woman's sick. This woman's sick. She told me two of her relatives are manic. Okay? Listen, man, the guy that's coming to see me is Kevin Hart. He's a chief law enforcement officer. Yeah, and he's over all the hospitals. He's over all the police chiefs. Okay?
I know Kevin Hart. I think I know him.
What I talked to him about yesterday is that he's a cop. He doesn't understand clinical issues. He doesn't understand what would qualify as for a bipolar diagnosis. He doesn't understand all that. And I told him, I said, listen, man, because Pam Allen told him to be my point person on any issues, and I told him, you're not qualified. I'm not trying to insult you, but you're not qualified. I said, what needs to happen now is Pam needs to bring in a psychiatrist from another hospital who's not a cleanup man, somebody who has a reputation for holding his staff to his high standard of performance. Probably a psychiatrist that a lot of people don't like because he enforces, you know, he does the right thing. He needs to come here and spend a couple days going through all the documentation. They set me up for what I was doing against Pam Allen. And, you know, do you know Lieutenant Brard?
Here?
Yeah.
I don't know, DBS is on my ass, and they wrote me up and made all kind of lies and falsified information on me, so I don't have no respect for DBS.
I don't know how to, I mean, like, you know, you asked about the phone. Chuck Rabeau, he talked to me on the phone and told me all kinds of stuff about Pam Allen and stuff. He even told me some stuff in confidence. I don't think he would have done that. They are. But you know what the problem that I'm having? Is nobody seems to care.
That is true.
Cassie, so is it because we're sex offenders, we're child molesters and rapists?
They don't care about people in prison either.
Huh?
They don't care about people in prison. The system is so big and so out of control. They have so many employees who have unions that it's almost impossible to get rid of the people who are doing bad things.
Right.
What they do, it's easier to attack the people who are doing the right thing because not that many of them, and they're the ones who come under the radar.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? You talk about my case and your case. Okay, so whenever you bring light to this wrongdoing, there's so many people doing it, they can't get rid of everybody, so they basically turn a blind eye. In fact, the psych techs are running this whole hospital. That's illegal.
Yeah.
Psych techs tell the doctors what to do. And if you don't like, if you don't do what they tell you to do, then they figure out a way to get you.
Well, I got a cop who told me that he's a union officer, Pica, real nice guy. He's a union rep. He said that the administration doesn't listen to them, that his hands are tied, and that he answers to Brandon Price. Who I understand started.
I have no idea how much you scratch just the surface. So you just like scratch the surface.
What do you mean?
You scratch the surface and you start smelling shit. Corruptness. You keep digging deeper, they're gonna try to hurt you.
You're saying I scratch the surface?
You scratch the surface by uncovering a lot of stuff that's happening wrong, by people dying here, people not having proper transportation, soon as you scratch that surface, it came up as an issue. They discussed it at several of the doctors' meetings. They discussed
Which issue?
The issue about the transportation ban, not having seat belts, not having air conditioning, people sweating, people dying, nobody's caring. That did get some attention. And then it kind of went back down, smooth underground again. So you're scratching the surface, because I'm telling you, the layers of shit is pretty deep. And one thing about shit that I know, I found one thing about shit, if you leave it in the pile and you don't mess with it, it just won't stink as bad. Once you dig around and dig around and dig around, that's what happens with shit. Everybody gets a little bit, and that's what happens.
Well, I
You
just
actually did something to probably help the hospital by exposing some of the things. And by me just talking to you, I know that's why I asked you to listen to these conversations, because they might say, well, she's trying to egg him on. I'm not trying to egg you on. I'm just validating that you brought up some very valid issues. And if they want to look at that as being manic, I've never seen you manic. Every time I see you,
you talked to me before and
I
after
talked to you before. I never wrote down that you had mania or anything like that. I never tried to medicate you. I don't know what's going on.
Well, do you notice how when you first came here, and 5 minutes ago I was kind of like just nervous, and how right now I've kind of calmed down a little bit? I've calmed down because you're calmed down. If I come into a meeting, and you read my 9-page report, you've seen what I've written, you know, if I have 20 things to tell you, and you tell me, hey, I got to see 3 other patients, and I just here for a minute.
You're going to go fast.
I'm gonna go fast, and talk, get all nervous and stumble over my words and get out of breath. Well, what you're telling me is interesting. The medical transportation. Throughout our history, people who have seen visions, and by visions I mean ways to fix things, or looked at things in a more in-depth way. That's what I mean by visions. I don't. They've accused other genius. And I'm not saying I'm a genius, but other very intellectual people as being crazy.
You have good perceptive power. Doesn't mean you're crazy. You're able to perceive events, and when you walk into a room like me, I can feel the pulse of what's happening on the unit. I can walk on a unit and I say, oh damn, this is a hot unit. I can just feel the tension.
Yeah.
I can just feel it.
I was thinking, you listened to my presentation. You told me to listen to the Grand Meter.
It was about 20 minutes, 20 minutes.
Something like that, yeah.
But you also think that one of the things that came up yesterday, originally you told me that she was really burned out, tired of this unit. She asked me to take over this unit. And I told her, I said, I don't think I can do that. I said, one of the reasons why I know I can't is because I would have to backtrack all the shit they put on me. And that's gonna make some people hot.
Well, I was thinking the same thing if you come to this unit, but I'm thinking I'm going to get out of here. I don't want you back. I like you out there.
Why don't you go to 17?
Because that's a medication unit. I want to go back to 14.
You go to 17 for about 6 months, I get you 14.
I want to go, because of what they did to me. I just found out today.
Can you go straight to 14?
Why not?
You can, but sometimes they do like a step down.
Yeah, but I was brought here under false pretenses, man, and false. I mean, let me tell you what's going to happen. Dr. Coombs, you know Dr. Coombs, the dentist?
Yeah, he's retired.
He's my friend, man. I got to tell him. We talk, meet him talk every couple weeks.
That
I threatened him and his wife. When I saw that, I called him up. I called him up that night, and I said, I need you to let me know. I said, is there any validity? Did I do anything? He said he was dumbfounded, completely dumbfounded.
He's getting kind of like not Alzheimer's.
No, he's getting Parkinson's.
He's getting Parkinson's, and I went to his retirement party. I don't think he would have said something. And his wife was there. They didn't feel like they were frightened. They felt like they had a great time.
Fuck no, it's bullshit. And I asked him. He was completely dumbfounded. He was completely. I said, regarding threats to your wife. He said, I never even told anybody anything about my wife. I said, to be honest with me.
Is it being embellished?
Dude, I never threatened him. He's my friend. Mm-hmm. We talk every couple weeks. We talked when he was here. The only thing he did was he did inform his supervisor that he was receiving calls from me. Mm-hmm. Okay, and he's assured me that I just got to go with that. Also, Risley claims that the legislature requested that they control me. This was on the day that I was brought to this unit. I just found out from Aldo this morning that I was sent here on an administrative transfer. Which is irregular. He said there's only four guys that have ever been brought to this unit on administrative transfer. Do you know the difference between administrative and? Yeah,
the administration, the clinical team didn't agree with it. The administration did. It wasn't your team didn't.
It was a rush. He said so. Dr. Risley alleges that I have decreased sleep. I was on 1-to-1. My sleep records show that I'm sleeping 4 to 10 hours a day. She claimed that there was a hold on me from the highway patrol, that I was going to face further charges. Dude, I got recordings of these staff telling me you are not to call the governor, you are not to call the highway patrol, you are not, I mean, I got Dr. Horowitz recorded at my last Calhoun last year telling me stop calling state senators. We want the calls to greatly reduce or be eliminated. I got Dr. Withrow lying. Daniel Wagner has already told the administration that the Calhoun hearing that I don't meet the criteria for dangerousness. They just filed.
Have you gone to court yet?
I'm going on the 29th. Look what they filed in the court, man. It's hilarious. It's fucking hilarious.
You talk to the judge, because people get off these things all the time. You talk to the judge, just be very honest, very calm.
Dude, we're gonna call in if this thing still goes to court. Risley says that I brought in pictures of a dead person, somebody that I killed. I've never killed anybody in my life. Mr. Gamboa applied a cold threat when he presented a bloody picture of a cellmate whom he stabbed to death. Okay? I've never killed.
Sorry, was she having a bad day that day?
Hey, she's had I want to get Gamboa day. What happened was I went back and listened to the recording of the Calhoun hearing. Okay, first of all, she makes it pretty serious. There's two issues here. One, I brought in pictures, and one, implying they have a case. That's a secondary allegation, okay? I went back, there was a guy in prison that tried to rape me, okay, in 1987, okay? And I was traumatized. I was raped in prison 14 times. And what I was trying, you listen to the hearing panel with Dr. Joseph and the questions I was asking. I was trying to establish two things. One, because I've been victimized so much by other people, and I've had trouble talking to people in authority, that as we were discussing a minute ago, I have a presentation of anxiety when I talk to people. I may seem manic.
It's called anxious distress.
Yeah. Like right now.
Use that word, anxious distress.
Like right now, I'm feeling a little bit
anxious.
No, I'm just saying. So that was the second issue. The other issue is that when she said that I've done things. Okay. Well, let me finish this first. Otherwise, you'll accuse me of flight of ideas.
No.
Which is a bipolar.
Did you see anything I wrote about you that says flight of ideas?
No, I said I want to be a stay on this.
Okay.
So anyway, the guy never died. We had a battle. There's pictures of this cell where I had to fight for my life. The last time you got a buzz, Honeywell died. Last time we were talking, you got word that Honeywell was dying.
Oh yeah, that was.
Yeah.
8694. They just have to wait.
So anyway, long story short, the guy never died. Okay. You go back and listen to the recording of the Calhoun hearing. You hear me say, "Well, here, I want to show you these pictures." Does this cause? The context is very clear in which the pictures were presented in the hearing. There was nothing about, hey, look at this, or this has happened to you, or none of that. One last thing, I want to go through all this shit. She said that Mr. Gamboa had exposed himself. Mr. Gamboa has intentionally exposed himself to female staff on more than one occasion. For the most recent episode, March 6th.
You have an IDN or SIR on that?
Well, let me tell you what happened. I have a hernia, an umbilical hernia. I'm very overweight. I got crevices and cracks. It's very uncomfortable for me. For 4 or 5 years, I've slept naked in my room because when I roll over, if I have pants, underwear on, it'll get caught up in the cracks or drag. If I'm naked, I can just. Okay, now to be decent to anybody, because I was in a single room without a curtain, I had a cabinet in front of my bed, about a 3-little cabinet. And I was always in an issue with EOC. It was always an issue. Move the cabinet, get the cabinet, And I constantly was arguing with staff. I also use a urinal. And I'm on a 1-to-1. So I've got the cabinet in front of my bed. I've been on 1-to-1 for 3 weeks. All of a sudden they come one day and say, you gotta move the cabinet. And there's documentation of this. They told me, move the cabinet. I said I need it to protect my nakedness. They said, move the cabinet. I said, okay, I'll move the cabinet. Took my clothes off to get in bed, and now they want to excuse me of exposing myself. Miguel came about 10 minutes later and said, hey, what's going on? I said, this is the issue with the cabinet. He says, listen, just go ahead and move it down a little bit so they can see your chest rising and breathing. And I was like, but see, this is what Risley's done.
You don't have a history of exposing.
No, I don't.
You don't have. You know, the thing is that they take an incident out of context.
Yeah. So I want. So. I don't know where, you know, Kevin Hart's coming to see me on behalf of Pam Holland. You know, initially I objected to that. I said, how can you, because he's come to see me once before. When he first started, he was 12 days on the job. I said, how can you come and investigate what's happening to me when you work for Pam Holland? She's possibly involved in this to some extent. And he goes, well, I'm still a cop and I'm not gonna, you know, blah, 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 blah. But he's all I got, man. And, you know, I even talked to Pam, even took my call about 3 months ago. And I was complaining about Dr. Risley's lying, this medication, they've set me up, blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm not a doctor, I can't stop the medication, talk to your treatment team. I mean, this is what we're dealing with here, man. So, you know, what's really sad.
Are you going to get off this unit?
Huh?
Are you going to be to get off this unit?
I like this unit. The only, except for the fact that when we start, these guys are picking on me, you know, and like New York and a couple other people. I think at this point, I'm hoping that there was no basis to send me here. Do I have behaviors? Yes. Have I cussed out the staff? Yes. Have I gotten mad and thrown coffee on the window in the office? Yeah. Okay? I'm not a perfect person.
Do you feel, my unit is locked also. But my unit is right down the street. You'll be in that same program.
Why would I want to go to unit that's people for medication?
Well, a lot of people are on medication on my unit. I have Mr. Wood on medication. Mr. Wood, you know. So
why would I want to go to?
Jordan from here came.
Yeah, he's spun out. He's crazy.
He said he got some over.
Why would I want to go to unit 17?
Because I'm there.
For how long?
Well, I don't know. I can get you to unit 14 quicker. I think I'll be more reasonable than these.
Well,
people.
I think I have.
I discharge people to unit 14 to 18 all over. I mean, we don't keep people on 17.
Well, what's happening, I think once Kevin Hart sees, because this documentation that Risley wrote, you know, is new. I didn't know about this shit till a couple days ago. That's why I let you read. And then Dr. Joseph. Oh, and she's claiming the legislature requested that. I've contacted the point person of the legislature. He says it's bullshit. But at the top, she claims the legislature, you know, she changed the legislature, you know, this bullshit. I have, you know.
Oh, she did say that she needs further specifics regarding your dangerousness. Okay.
And what does that mean to you?
It means that she doesn't have specific information at the time you came here about dangerousness.
No, but
that's the 25th, though. That's in.
But that's the day I came here. But still, she's saying that I threatened senators. She's saying that I threatened a dentist. Okay.
But those people can be called into court.
Absolutely,
and make the right statements on your behalf.
Absolutely.
Well, now before
But
I am covering this unit, so let me make sure I got to be out by 2:30.
Okay.
I have to come back. I have 2 people to see, so you and somebody else.
It's 1:53.
Oh, we got time.
Don't rush to defend her. I just gave you a couple of
examples. Why would I run to rush?
Oh, okay. No, well, we were saying specifics of my dangerousness.
No,
There's
no specifics. She has no specifics.
She said, examiner needs further specifics.
She needs further. That means that she doesn't
okay,
have it.
but she later on came up with my nakedness and
the urine and the feces.
Well, check this out. She said that I went to the office. Mr. Gambord demanded to speak to shift lead. When Robert says Mr. Gambord repeatedly yelled, "Fuck you," while moving toward shift lead with clenched fist. This is what with Calhoun, you got to have a recent act of dangerousness. That's what she's using. Okay, most recent episode. Okay, I went and looked at the paperwork. Hey, I went and looked at the paperwork.
I'm coming back. Hold on. I have a meeting with Dr. Withrow at 2:30, the director of the whole hospital. I gotta come back and see some other people. So I'll try. I have several people who already have appointments with me today.
Yeah, I really need to talk with you.
Okay. But I am covering this unit this week, so.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. I like that green.
Yeah,
It kind of matches my green.
Jesse gave this to me.
Yeah. Oh, he did? Recently? That's good.
Yeah, I saw him this morning. I mean, he calls me and stuff. He's doing all right. He ain't staying out of trouble though.
I saw that they walking by themselves up this morning.
Yeah.
So that was good.
You should have saw him last night.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's not doing.
Well, you look good.
Yeah, I'm staying in shape.
Yes, good.
When you do get a chance, it's not.
But I thought finished with this gentleman. I do have to go to the meeting, and I have one more after him that I have to come back and see.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Shit, I forgot what I was saying.
About her meeting the criteria for dangerousness. That's how she got it.
Oh, come to find out, I went back and looked at the SIR. There's nothing in there about clenched fist. So I went to the seclusion paperwork, because they put me in seclusion for a few minutes. In fact, I think you signed the seclusion for that. It said clenched jaw, not clenched fist, which is significant.
That's significant. Clenched fist, in fact, you're going to hit someone.
Yeah, but here's the other thing: is the patient preference. See, if you look at the seclusion restraint special order, you're supposed to know what the patient history and behaviors in. You know, I have even if I had, there's other times I've had clenched fist because I have carpal tunnel. I have brace for both hands. I've been recommended for surgery.
And your hands will tighten up.
A lot of times I'll do that because my fingers get numb. But that didn't even happen in this instance. Because there was no clenched fist. There's no documentation. She makes shit up. She makes shit up.
When people persecute you or make lying threats against you, it makes you feel like you have to really convince your argument, because it's so outrageous that a person would target you like that. But it does happen. I've been a victim of being targeted.
Well, a lot of the guys around here are complaining about Dr. Risley.
That's probably why
lying.
That's why she probably wants to be on this unit.
She
wants to get off the unit.
So to summarize, I'm not going to give you any information regarding.
Oh, no, I just came up because they said you wanted to talk to a doctor about.
I never told anybody that.
Neglect or abuse.
I never told anybody that.
Can I put that down here? You're not. Did I write that down?
There are issues of staff misconduct.
Okay.
I'm planning to speak with Kevin Hart, the
DPS?
They call him the super chief. I look forward to telling you, some of what's going on. But
what's up with your appointment?
Huh?
Days your appointment?
He said he was going to come in a couple of days. I'm going to try to get him to hold off a few days so I can better prepare my.
Is he a DPS chief?
He's a chief. He's chief law enforcement operations for DSH. He's over all the hospitals. His title is chief of law enforcement operations for DSH in Sacramento. You know what's fucked up, Chesk, is good people like you. I've almost given up because good people like you leave, man. You probably already thought about leaving again.
Yesterday I told them I was going to quit, and then that's what I'm saying Dr. Withrow today, because they're trying to investigate me for trivial shit.
I got Withrow line.
Huh?
I got Withrow line.
But why would you spend thousands of dollars and months trying to hang a doctor? You can't even get doctors to work here. And they just don't like the fact that people say hi to me in the hallway. They don't like the fact that I'm smiling. I seem like I'm happy to come to work. I try to help people. And the more I try to help people, it's like the more they're going to make lies. I mean, there's so many lies on me. I'm like, oh my God, I'm hated that much? I think Jesus Christ was hated less than that, wasn't he?
How do we get somebody to listen, man?
Well, that's something I'm trying to figure out.
Now, I will tell you this, that guy in the governor's office, Adrian, when I was telling him about all the staff that have information in here, he says, well, they need to call me. I'm sitting here trying to be your guys' voice.
Right, but the thing is that this is the whole thing. corruptness is so deep. When you call someone, they go back and tell Whitfield that one of your staff talked about this. Can you look into it?
So how do we deal with this, man?
Well,
How do we get
somebody
this?
on the outside who doesn't work here has to almost be like that Willow Green pastor. That was really weird.
On the day that he was supposed to do a show with me.
Exactly. That scared me.
On a Tuesday at 1 o'clock.
That scared me. When you told me Willow Green died, you told me that, you saw, I literally almost shook like a leaf. I'm like, fuck, excuse my language. And
Now, they did do it, I talked to Beverly, and the homicide never returned my calls. I left several messages for the homicide detectives saying that I'm not saying anything happened, but I want to let you know what the circumstances were leading up to and on the day of death. No response. The family requested a toxicology. The toxicology came back, nothing substantive. He may have had some methamphetamine, I can't remember, some, modest amount of methamphetamine or something in his system, but yeah. Man, every time I call, you're usually not in your office, so I just...
I don't have so many problems with my unit. I just stay away from the office. I'm having problems with my staff.
Because what? Because you're a compassionate provider?
Pretty much. It's going to happen that way, so I have a right to be a compassionate provider. That's who I am.
Well,
I can't change it.
I'm scared because, you're just going to leave and
No,
then...
I'm not
Well,
gonna
most staff just leave.
I'm too far deep at the end of my career. I need to stay here these few more years to finish up my career. And I've been to too many different places.
Well, if you had to come forward, would you be able to go work at Pleasant Valley or Corcoran or someplace nearby?
I can work anywhere else. Right now, this is a good place for me because it's the pace of the place is right up my alley. I would see too many people too many patients, like 20 patients a day, back to back to back to back at a state at a prison. They make you run a line. You gotta do EOP, a triple CMS line. You see, guy at 9 o'clock, guy at 9:20, guy at 9:40, guy at 10 o'clock, then 10:20, then 20:20, then 11 o'clock. This is boom, boom. It's like 3 guys an hour. Before you know it, you didn't see 20 guys a day. And when you leave out there, you just like swimming.
Right.
I did that for years. And then when I came here, I liked it. But the first time I was here,
Well, you made a good point. From the director to all the middle management positions are fucking psych techs. And I'm gonna tell you, I got no respect for Dr. Zezian because I've told them over and over about all the shit going on here. He'll talk about it and then just walk away and not do nothing. He's not assertive.
I've learned over the last 48 hours alone that if I want to survive here, I really have to fly so fucking far below the radar. My belly is skimming the earth. The radar is here. I can't fly here. I gotta fly stealth mode, 24/7. So when I come in, the first thing I do is I hide out in the call room, or you hear me answer my phone. I'm only in my office to check the email and go somewhere else because I'm scared. When somebody put charges or investigating a doctor, we investigated a doctor for months, and they took me to the little investigation thing. And told me what the allegations were, the charges. I'm like,
That you gave food to somebody.
I said, well, where's your proof? Well, we have down here on this day. I said, no, it couldn't happen because the canteen's closed that day. We were closed that day. Well, it was a Friday. I said, no, my Friday's my day off. I only come on Friday after 5 o'clock. I don't see patients. I go right to my call room. So, and then they say, so-and-so. So I said, that staff doesn't see me because I never met that staff, and that staff just met me. It was just, the thing is, they had their agenda, they had their problem, they had their solution. Now, I needed me to be there to show that they brought me in and talked to me. And then they came to the conclusion, of course, they found me guilty, and now I'm just waiting for the punishment. That's how they roll here. That's how they roll. That's what you always asking me, do they take this shit? The camera shot? I know the camera's right here.
Who do we go to, man?
She's my, I'm her supervisor, and she's my supervisor. That's how it works, girl. I have nothing against her personally at all.
Yeah.
I'm down. So, you get off this year, but well, I think she might be.
Well, the thing is that she just makes shit up, man, and there's a guy that she just Calhoun, Anthony Marks. He does, in my opinion, need some medication, but supposedly she said he's been stalking female staff, has a history, but there's no, according to him, and there's no SIRs, there's no documentation to support that,
And staff told me that we wanted to be seen.
I never requested to see you, and I've already talked to Dr. Rizzi yesterday, and told her, mentioned some of the things that were going on.
So you didn't want to be seen for that today?
Due to confidentiality, I want to withhold speaking to somebody until I speak with Kevin Hart.
Excellent. Because
Well, listen,
I don't want them to try to pit me against you. Because if you ever need me, I can be free to speak and not be a part of this whole minutia. If I tell you about shit, you dig it around and turn around, that's okay. But make sure you don't get the people that help you involved.
Well, the fact that you come to see me today, and now you're a witness because you.
I'm on tape too.
I reviewed his record, and none of the shit Dr. Rizzi wrote is true. My gut feeling is that when Sacramento sees what's been done here.
Well, let me tell you the biggest thing going your way. How could you operate a hospital with 1,400 people, only 8 doctors, 7 doctors in there, 9 doctors? They're spread so thin with coverage of the
There's only 9 psychiatrists?
Well, there's only 4 state psychiatrists, and the rest of them are all contracted.
4 state psychiatrists.
We're not supposed to have 28 psychiatrists, we don't even have half that.
Really?
No. We have Whitlow.
Most of the ones we got don't even speak English.
Thank you. So, that's federal. Isn't that a violation of federal? Don't you have to have so much ratio?
I don't know, man.
No,
I think I'm feeling like a lot of the staff were I just feel hopeless, Keskis, and I don't take this in any way as a threat. I mean, because I don't think anybody will really look at what's going on seriously until somebody's laying out in the hallway dead, until somebody kills the staff.
They will look at it, because I remember when Dannenberg, he was and stuff, he had the blister on his feet. I petitioned to the administration and finally got the things he needed. It will happen, but it does take almost like a bad happen. And that's sad. How's your family doing?
My mom's, she's a kindergarten teacher, and she's like 73, and she's got her own plate full. I try not to burden her with too much of this stuff. But, I mean, look at Unit 9. Unit 9 is a result of that lady getting killed at Napa.
Yep.
Unit 9. And this is a joke, too. Oh, my God. I'm going to tell you, you want to know what you're walking into here? This is not a therapeutic environment.
This is like a communist internment.
Man, the staff sitting around cussing. Although you told me this morning that he's removed a couple of staff, but you got staff sitting there cussing and scooting and hollering, playing. This is not a therapeutic environment. There's no enhanced treatment here. Mm-hmm. It's a lockup unit. It's a place to keep. Yeah. I mean, there's no.
I'm not going to put the name of the chief law enforcement officer, okay?
It's up to you.
I can put his name on it.
So I just hate to have you walk away today and then may not see you for 6 months again.
I could come back, but I had another guy.
I know, but I'm not going to have an opportunity to talk to you today. I just want you, whatever you do and wherever you go, I want you to remember me and remember what I've got here. I mean, they took me.
The first time I met you, I saw you in your private room that time, and you were watching TV and stuff. We talked for a long time.
Yeah, I remember again. I gave you my report, and you took it with you.
Mm-hmm.
And you promised to come back and read after you read it, which you never did.
It reminded me of my fault.
I
have to operate in a stealth mode because the staff, they monitor how much time you see a person, you go there, you go to the program office. They call me early to come up here. I have to do some other things first, and they call me again to come up and see. Francis from this office wants me to come up here now. I'm like, damn, people boss me around like I'm a stepchild.
Yeah.
So, but no, I will be coming back up here. Okay.
But try to think, I mean, what the whole picture shows. If and like I said, I got Dr. Withrow lying, and that's why my Calhoun was canceled last summer. It shows that they have reacted. They are reacting to what I'm doing. they are reacting to the information that I'm taking forward to the legislature, and they're so stupid that they made it very clear what they're doing. You know, I don't have a history of behaviors that this unit was created for. I've never hit anybody. I've never hurt anybody. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I mean, I do get angry and cuss out staff periodically. You know, I've thrown Kool-Aid or coffee on the office windows, and you know, at least in my mind, thought I had a good reason to do that. You know, one of the reasons that we exhibit these behaviors is this hospital in many circumstances. No, it's not that. Is that in order to get your needs met, you have to act like a baby. You know, I sat in that office. They sit in the office and just ignore you, and put you off. That one day I threw coffee all over the office. I had been attacked by Harden in the grill. It smashed me in the face and broke my glasses. Well, the optometrist just happened to be here that day. It was almost to the point where the optometrist got home and I wasn't going to get my glasses fixed. You know? But when I went through coffee and shit all over the fucking windows of the office, then they went and fixed my glasses. You got a point about some of that stuff. You have to act like a baby sometimes around here. You have to jump up and down like a fucking monkey, and be the squeaky wheel that gets the grease. Mm-hmm. Are you aware of that? Yeah. Do you ever see guys in the unit that they're not getting their needs met and they'll do something like that? They'll go one-on-one and they'll say I'm suicidal. Or we have people toss stuff on the window, toss it under the door. But they didn't start out that way, did they? No, they didn't. They started out asking, hey, I need something. And then the staff were dismissive, or am I right? Exactly. Then they escalated that behavior. And then other people see it. I did it after I saw other people do it. Monkey see, monkey do. And then it works. It works because then they have to come out and clean that shit up. And they realize that it would have been better to grant your request, because other patients don't clean it up, because that's, this is what's going on in this hospital, man. So, I don't know. You remind me of that. I don't know her name, but she's a track star. Oh, Jackie Jordan. No, the one that stay at a virgin until she gets married. Yeah, one like that? Yeah. Sounds like me. She's like in her 20s or 30s or something. She's like, I don't know. I think she's a track star. You don't know what I'm talking about? She's black at all? Yeah, she looks like she's mixed. Not Allison Felix, is it? I can't remember her name. I just saw her on TV a couple days ago, too. She got long braids. God, I can't remember. Well, I just put down here that you don't have any issues that you want to talk to me about right now. That you're going to wait till you have an appointment that law enforcement. Is your writing easy to read? Yeah. What you want to read it? No. Patient stated that he has an appointment with Chief Law Enforcement Officer of Operations. Is it easy to read? Okay. That's a PPN 917. Yeah, it's the same one as the Wizard app. I wish you typed hers. And you put the date and time, that way you know what time it is, September 17th. So let me see, is this close to me going to this thing? I'm going to time to the other guy real quick. That way when I come back, I put the brightest note and I can let you talk to me. Does that make sense? Would you, if I can, there is a senator's office that I'm going to be talking to. If he were to assure you that if he were to assure you that your confidentiality, would you talk to him? Yep. And also I found out from Denver, you can get that Google Voice, and you can get a number, like the 800 number, that drops the other number, so you can call in. Yeah, I have Google Voice, but you got to have a computer to set all that shit up. Oh, you got to. I guess somebody said. Do you check your messages? My voice message on my cell phone. I haven't. I don't have your cell phone number. Did I have your cell phone number at one point? You had something, yeah. Because nobody ever answered it. Yeah, but the voice came on the message, so it didn't discuss the president. I don't know. I had something on you, and then it was in Fresno or something. I think Fresno. There were like 2 or 3 numbers. What's your husband's name? John or something? Mm-hmm. Huh? Mm-hmm. There were like 2 or 3 numbers. Mm-hmm. I had so many offices back in the day. Well, listen. Do you check your messages every day?
On my phone?
On the office phone?
I don't know how to check them, because that's Office 17, they never gave me an office.
You still don't know how to check your messages?
I do know how to check them, but they won't give me a voicemail for that office. I gotta
So
ask
if he were to call the office, hospital,
No, now that I'm going to see Dr. Withrow, I could stop by IT and ask them to get my voicemail hooked up.
because I left a couple of voicemails on there too.
And then it say Dr. K voicemail? when
Yeah,
call?
you got your voice is on there.
Oh, then I don't know how to check it then. Okay. I stopped doing this because when I went to check it, they asked you for your date of birth. I'm like, what asked me for my date of birth?
And there's a way for you to check it remotely, like
From anywhere.
yeah.
Yeah, I used to have that on 26. So let me check it, and then when I go to IT, I will come back. I promise. Listen to me. I will come back today. Okay? Because I have to see another person.
I mean, I guess if I don't want to ask you for your number, I could probably go online and get it if I need to get it again. I can't find where I put it.
They right here, listen, watching on this thing. They probably read lecture from the side. One of these people. They have how many cameras do they have?
What is it? What is the cell again?
Huh?
What's the cell number again?
Wait, hold on. Let me call you through the office to get it to you then. Okay? 'Cause
Huh?
I don't trust these people here. Okay? You know,
Were you gonna call me?
I'm gonna come back and see you today.
Oh.
I got to, because I have to see two people. You're one.
Okay. Well, the legislative office I'm
And I might not need
calling,
to see this guy. Forgot his name.
the legislative office that I'm calling is Senator Fuller's office. He's aware of Kathy Gaither. Kathy Gaither was confirmed as a deputy director of state hospitals about a year ago. After they confirmed her, he told me this himself. They discovered that she was doing bad shit, and that there were staff that were afraid to say anything during the confirmation process.
Oh, of course they are.
So he knows the game.
I gotta turn my keys in too.
Okay, I'm gonna try to call him.
I won't finish the interview. I have to talk to this guy
All right.
until 3. And see if
Hey,
I
God
can-
bless you, man, and I'd give you a hug if you want a Christian hug. But thank you for your kindness, man.
Oh, when I come back, I want to see the talk to people.
Okay.
I think we're gonna let me talk here about lifetime. I think we just did that.
I have Kevin Hart's up to me. Hopefully she won't be around too much longer. Yeah, no, I got it.